Okay, so let us begin with today's class. So in the last class, we were studying about the quality control and the quality system and why this ISO International Standards Organization came. Why do we see nowadays that most of the major of the good companies that we come across, we see there is a ISO certification, and why seeing that certification a client may or a customer may somewhat draw an image about the company, about the goodwill of the company, and also about the quality of the products the company will deliver. That is the responsibility, the reliability, the software reliability, it is associated with this ISO certification. In the last class I have said that it doesn't guarantee that each and every product will be best, but still it has a benchmark that majority of the times this organization have delivered good standard products to the customers. So seeing this ISO certification, we can develop an idea that about the goodwill of this company. Now, under this ISO 9000 series, we were studying in the last class that three sections are there. One is 9001, another is 9002, and another is 9003. Now we studied that 9001 was engaged in organizations where there is design, where there was design, there was development, there was production, and there was servicing of goods, servicing. So these type, the type of organization who deals with this type of things, for there it was 9001. And if we come to any software development organization, this design, development, production, servicing, everything is related. So software development companies, they will fall under this category 9001. 9002 goes went to those company where the design is not there, that is they do not themselves design the products, but they are involved with production of the products. So as example, I was selling like any car manufacturing company or any steel manufacturing company, they buy the design from external sources and they are only involved in manufacturing those products. So ISO 9002 is not at all applicable for software development. This is very much clear. Now 9003 was involved to those company who are only involved in installation and testing of products. Now, as example, I have said that few telecom companies are there, not like Airtel or Vodafone. These are telecom software companies. I am saying about the hardware, core hardware telecom companies there, just like IT sector. So they do what? They take this vendorship from Airtel, Vodafone, Jio, whatever it is, and they install their towers for them. They maintain these towers for them. So Jio himself doesn't produce the tower and fix it by Jio company. They give this vendorship to some other external third-party company. Now those companies, they only fall under 9003. They are only involved in this installation part and testing part. Now this was this classification about this different ISO 9000 standard. Now this ISO 9000 standard for this software industry, which we were just studying, now this is applicable to a large number of industries. Now starting from like if you consider about this ISO 9000 as a whole package, it is applicable for a variety of industries. That is starting from a steel manufacturing industry to a service providing company, a huge variety of company it covers. So many of these clauses of this ISO 9000 documents, they are written using generic terminology. So this ISO 9000 documents, they are written in general terminologies. Why? Because since it will cover a large variety of industries, so it must be understood by a large variety of section of people. So it must be coined in such a terminologies so that it is understandable from steel manufacturing industry to service providing industry. Everyone should understand. So it is very much difficult also to interpret them in the context of software development organization. So if I am building or making my documents from the point of view that everyone has studied computer science engineer and engineering, and he or she will be able to understand, it must be wrong, because since it will cover a large strata of different varieties of fields, it needs to be in that language so that it is understandable to each and everyone. So one important reason behind such a situation is that software development is very much different from the development of other type of products. See, the problem which was found, that why this division was needed, you will see that the concept which was involved in steel manufacturing, those processes are not that much similar to a software product development or software service development. Then the processes, the designs, whatever it is involved in this installation companies, they are very much different from the software and manufacturing companies. So different type of document must be there in order to understand. So this difference between this software development and development of other kinds of products, it became the need due to this different, that the classifications should be there. So the document which is for software development, only the software company should be interested in. The documents which is for manufacturing department, the manufacturing company should be understandable. The document which is for service providing companies, it should be understandable by them. So this classification was needed since the way of working, the processes, the entire setup is different for different fields of organization in practical life. So these different sections of classification of documents also was there. Now, why is that difference between that software and this product? The thing is, when I am making a hardware product, less like this manufacturing companies, when I am making a product, after a gap of 1 week, 2 week, month, 2 months, I will develop something, at least a small prototype, a small section, which I can show that I have developed this thing. But in case of software, this development is not visible to the user until the development is complete and the software is up and running. So for software, we generally have to wait a longer time till the software is up. But in case of this manufacturing companies, small products, small sections which they are making, they can show it to you. So it is very much difficult to control and manage anything that you cannot see and feel. So when a product is being developed to various stages, such as engine is getting fitted, we are fitting some doors, so it becomes easy to determine that how much work has been completed, and to estimate also that how much more time will it take. But in case of software, it becomes very much difficult to manage, because we cannot see until the software is up for running. And one major difference is that, so one problem was that software is very much difficult to control, since we cannot control what we see, So it is difficult to control because we only get to see at the last stage. In between the intermediate stages, we cannot see. And another thing, in case of software, the raw material is data. So in case of software development, what we give as raw material to this any product or any service in software, it is data. Datas are fed in order to see whether it is working or not. We design the test cases, we design the test suite. So they are only data. But in contrast to this, the raw materials which are consumed during the development of any product in a many manufacturing company, so they will suppose it is a steel making company, they will consume coal, they will consume iron ore, they will consume lime, manganese. So all these things they will consume, so we can quantify them, we can see them. So many clauses of ISO 9000 standard, they were concerned with the raw material control. So they were concerned with the raw material control because this iron ore, manganese, coal, lime, we cannot use them what will I say? As and when required, we cannot use them. Now, these had some limitations, natural resources. So there was some control on the raw material of usage, which was specified in ISO 9000. So these raw material specifications, it was not needed for the software development, not needed for software, because software raw material is only data. So for this type of reasons, it was needed to classify the 9000 standard into these three separate sections so that different documents can be prepared. So is this classification why it is done clear to you all? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So, due to this difference between the different industries, this software and this product development type, it was difficult to interpret the various clauses of the original ISO 9000 in with respect to the software industry. So this ISO 9000, they released a separate document in order to interpret only the ISO standards for software industry. Okay. So this was the reason why these ISO standards, they came with a separate section only for this software industry, so that like the difficulty in understanding or interpreting the processes, and also on reading or knowing the things which are not needed in view of my field, so these things can be bypassed. Okay. So this was the entire concept about ISO 9000 and ISO 9000 classification, why a separate ISO 9000 was needed for the software industry. Okay. Now the thing is, why to need a ISO certification? Why do we need that? One of the benefits which I was saying so far is the customer confidence. So in an organization, if it has a ISO certification, then the organization confidence which it will generate or which it can give to the customer, it increases. So in international market, it is very much good if I have this certification. So many organizations, they are awarded this international software development contracts. They insist the development organization that is they should have a ISO 9000 certification. So when some companies give some work to a few companies in the international market domain, it is seen that those companies are approached where there is a ISO 9000 certification. So for this reason, it is very much important for the software organizations that are involved in software export, like in making software product or making software services, whatever it is important to obtain the ISO 9000 certification. Now, another thing is this ISO 9000 certification, it requires a well documented software production process. So, okay, wait for a minute. Let me just take the screenshot. Okay, wait. Okay. So what happens is, since ISO 9000 itself, the process itself, it requires a well documented software production process. So this will contribute automatically to a higher quality of the developed product or the developed software. So when my documentation is good, my quality, the processing is good, so obviously a higher quality of the product I will get, be it a software product, be it a software service, whatever it is. So obviously it is seen that a student who is obedient, who follows the classes, who does his homework in time, who studies during the study hours, so it is bound that that person will achieve good marks. If there is not a big mishap during the examination hall, it is bound that that person will achieve good marks in comparison to a person who is not doing these things, who is not going classes, who is not doing taking the notes, who is not submitting the assignment. So this is a general thing. So when a process is well documented, so obviously the higher quality software will be developed. And also, since everything needs to be well documented, well processed, in line with every single thing, so as a result, the development process, it becomes more focused. So if you know that your company is aiming for a certification, obviously you will be very much careful while doing your all activities, so that all of your activities are error free, all of your activities are well structured, so that you get the certification. So automatically what happened, the development process, it becomes focused, it becomes efficient, it becomes cost effective. Okay. Now, what does this ISO certification, when they will come for this certification, what it will do? It will check the organization, it will go through the documents, go through all everything, they will study, just like our NBA visit. They will study, they will do everything, and then they will point out to the organization also the weakness of the organization. So they will point out that what are the weak points. They will point out what are the weak points of an organization, and they will recommend for remedial. and they will recommend for remedy. So if you go through this certification, what will happen is every one of us has this tendency to think that he or she is the best, he or she knows best, until and unless some other person who does not know you, who is not associated with you, he or she will judge you. You won't be able to seek your own weak points. You will think that whatever you are doing, you are best in that. So this is the good thing, that when they will come for this process, they will also point out that what are the weak points of the organization, and they will recommend that fine, you do these remedial actions, we will again come for the visit, and then we will give you the ISO certification. Not an issue. You improve yourself, you change yourself. These are the lacunas, just like our NBA. So it is also beneficial for any company to know that what are the weak points of that company. Because until and unless you know your weak points, you cannot improve yourself. So everything needs to improve in life. Improvement is the only constant in life. Always you need to brush yourself up. It is not that you have known all, you have done everything in life. No. So this is the entire thing, that why we needed a ISO certification. And also, as a result of all these points which we have just talked about, from ISO point 1 to point 4, what will it provide? It will provide a good framework for the development of any product in most possible optimum way, so that quality is controlled, everything is maintained, and optimal resource, optimal cost is taken, and everything is done. So this is the need of, this was the reason why every organized software development organization, big ones, they always want to get this certification. Because in case of international market, you need to have this certification. Until and unless you will have this certification, you won't be placed in international market. Okay, now we will study about how to get this certification, that is what are the processes of this certification. Okay, so what happens, that one organization who wants to obtain this certification, the organization need to first apply somewhere, just like us when we did for MBA. When we wanted to get this MBA accreditation, we wanted, or we applied in a portal. So just like that, this organization need to apply to a ISO 9000 register. And there they will follow some registration process, and those registration process will be done. Now, what are the registration process? The first step for any accreditation or any certification is the application stage, right? So once one organization decides that they need to go for this certification, they will apply to a registrar for this registration process. Then what will they do? They will pre-assess. So there will be pre-assessment. Okay. So what does happen during this pre-assessment? Just like our A, when we applied for this, we applied there, then there in during the registration process, we need to provide in with some data. Those data, the NBA team, they online verified that whether we are eligible to go for this accreditation or not. Similarly, during this pre-assessment test, then the register, they make a rough assessment of this organization. On the basis of whatever data the organization has filled, they will do a rough assessment so that to see that whether this organization is on the first place eligible or not to get this certification. Then they will go for the third stage, that is okay. So what happens is the register, they reviews the documents which are submitted by the organization and they make suggestions for possible improvements. So if it is seen that they will point out whatever is the problem with the organization, whatever is the weakness, then they will suggest these things directly to the organization so that they can go for improvements. Then they will ask for a compliance report, compliance audit. So they will ask for this compliance audit, which means that the compliance audit means what happens during any audit. An auditor comes, he checks the documents, he lists a lot of things that this, there is a problem with this, there is a problem with this, then there is a problem with this. Then he gives a window for improving myself. So suppose the window is suppose 10 days, 20 days, like this, they will give a window. And after the window is over, they will ask the compliance report. That means whether I have complied with the suggestions as suggested by the auditor. So similarly, the register will also check whether the suggestions which were given or spoken to the organization in step 3, whether it is made by the company or followed by the company or not, that is they have been complied by the organization or not, they will check this. The next stage is the registration process. This is the final registration process. Okay, so if the compliance report is okay, if the compliance audit is good, that is the all the things that was needed to be done the company has done, the register has checked and verified, then the register will award the ISO 9000 certificate. After this completion of all the previous phases, that is from phase 1 to 4, after this completion is done, the register will award the ISO 9000 certificate. So here the registration process is done, and do not think that if I once get this certificate, then my job is done for the entire 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 years till my company exists. No. So a continued surveillance is there, just like us. For a definite time period it is given, then again they have to renew it. So this register, they will continuously monitor the organization periodically. So periodically they set some time, suppose 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, whatever it is, 1 year, 2 years, whatever it is, they will continuously survey, they will continuously monitor. Okay, first let me share the attendance first. Okay, so everyone please mark your attendance. So it is done for all. Is there anyone who has not been able to mark the attendance?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am,
Mane,
please wait.
mark nahi
Ma'am,
kiya?
ma'am, no, ma'am.
Acha, if there is anyone who has not been able to mark his or her attendance, you people write your name in the chat box. Okay? Those who are not able to, only those two or three people it must be. So rest they have been able to, right? So I am switching off to this whiteboard. Okay. So far the processes which I was telling about, everything is good. One thing that ISO has mandated is that any certified organization, they can use the certified for any corporate advertisements, but they cannot use the certificate for advertising of any product. Can anyone say why is that? They can use the certificate for corporate advertisement, that is for advertising their company they can use it, but for advertising any product they cannot use it. Can anyone say why is that? This is because when we started studying ISO, we have said that ISO is issued for an organization's processes, but it is not for any specific product of the organization. So here the organization's processes will be checked, but it cannot check any specific product of the organization. So an ISO certified company means that the processes are checked, the processes are good, and if the processes are good, it is seen that the end product will be good. But the end product is not checked in the certification. So for advertising of product, they cannot use this certificate. But yes, for advertising their company, that our company is as a certified and all, they can use this certificate. Good. So now is it clear why this certificate can be used for advertising in only corporate sector, that is for the companies, and not for advertising any product of the company, because the processes are checked in the certification and not the product. Any specific product cannot be checked. Whether the processes have been followed or not, the processes are well structured or not, well documented or not, they are cost effective, using optimal resources, everything is related to process. Okay. So if an organization, they will use this certificate for this advertisement of any product, and if it comes to the notice of this organization, it may withdraw their certificate also. Okay. And in India, this so they do not risk this because it will withdraw their certificate. In India, this ISO certification is offered by this, then so in India, these are the organizations that check for this ISO certification and all. They look after this, and all these things like and this IRQS organization, this is accredited by Dutch. It is accredited by Dutch Council. So Dutch Council of Certifying Bodies, they have accredited this organization. Okay, so automatically some international standard is associated with this organization. Okay, so this was all about the ISO 9000, like the classification, why this separate for software industry is needed, why this certification is needed, and how or what are the processes followed in understanding this certification. Does anyone have any query in understanding these topics which are discussed today?